Alright, I'm getting ready to do some grain, so I thought I'd make this little video to show you a little bit about pressure cookers and how not to die with them. Here's my grain in jars with aluminum foil. But anyway, so here is like the most basic pressure cooker you can get. It's got a couple things. It's got, the lid. It's important that the lids have good locks. If you get one new, you don't have to worry about that. It's got this little thing here. That's a blow-off valve. If the pressure gets too high inside that thing will shoot out and let all the steam out all at once. So really, pressure cookers blowing up is a thing of the ancient past. It's got the jiggler on the top here. This is what actually sets the pressure on the pressure cooker. This one is a simple one that you don't have any adjustment on there. The nicer pressure cookers have different ones. The first thing you want to make sure to do is you want to make sure this hole is clear. That is like number one. You want to look inside there and make sure there's nothing in there. You can see that's clear and you can see through it just fine. Pressure cookers will almost always have some kind of little trivet or whatever you want to call it in the bottom there. These type of pressure cookers have a gasket in that. That gasket is replaceable. You can get new ones online. Also, this rubber can wear out and those will need replacing over time every once in a while. If it gets worn, it's not going to not work. It's just going to be loose and it won't seal tightly. In order to use this kind, you just put water inside it. Make sure to always have more water than you actually need in there so that it doesn't run dry while you're cooking. That kind of comes with experience. But you just heat it up. You make sure it's on there. I put it on high until this starts jiggling. And the thing, this has 3 different levels, 5, 10, and 15 PSI. And once it reaches the 15 and starts jiggling, I turn the heat down to about half heat. Now that brings us to the one we actually use, the Presto, or the All-American. And there's a couple different companies that make things kind of similar to this, but they all work the same. Again, you got the blow-off valve, or whatever you want to call it, overpressure valve thing. Same kind of a thing. If it gets worn out, gets tired, you can get that replaced. It's not hard to do. You can do it yourself. This one is a nicer one. It also has a little gauge, and it will go from 5, 10, 15 psi. And how this pressure is set is a little bit different. It comes with this different jiggler. Now you can see it says 5, 10, 15 on the jiggler. The geometry of that hole there, plus the weight of the jiggler, is how it sets the pressure. And again, I put it on high until it starts jiggling. It'll go kind of start going like that. And then I put it down to about medium heat once that happens. Again, you're going to need to put plenty of water in here. In order to make sure that I got plenty of water, I like to use this base and then use the actual base that came with it on top of that. That gives me a couple extra inches of water. That way I don't have to worry about running dry. Then you want to pack it with room temperature water. A little bit warm water won't hurt anything, but you don't want to pack it with like boiling water. And you don't want it to be hot when you put these things in here, because you want them to come up to temperature at the same rate as the pressure cooker, because thermal shock is what will kill your jars. I've never had anybody have a jar explode from pressure alone, but thermal shock inside a pressure cooker can kill your jars. Now you can add the water before you put the jars in, or you can put the jars in, put the water in afterwards, but I just wanted to show you how that's done. You can fit 10 in this particular pressure cooker, but the ones on top have to go on their side, and I don't really like doing that. thing about the All-American, I didn't say this earlier, but the other one has a gasket. You'll notice there's no gasket here. And you might be like, how does it keep a seal? Well, these two machined surfaces are machined such that they actually line up really good and they don't need a gasket. On an All-American, there'll be like a little arrow on one point and a little divot that arrow lines up with. Then you want to do each of these toggles and you want to do them down. You want to make sure that as you do so, you keep the, you want to look at this crack in the lid here, and you want to make sure that's even all the way around. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just kind of get it close. And then you want it to blow off steam for a little while. So you're going, once you get the water in there, you get it heating up on high. And once it's blown steam out the little hole here for a little while, then you could put on the weight. And you don't put on the weight until it's actually exhausted some steam for a little bit. And then you don't start the timer till the weight starts jiggling. That way you don't undercook or under-sterilize your stuff. And follow the recommendations. There's plenty of warnings and recommendations on the side. But honestly, if you are following just basic safety, then nothing will... There's very... Really, the way these are made, you can't mess them up. Again, you want to look through there and make sure that's clean. You can see that is clean. Every once in a while you get a lot of gunk in there, and you want to make sure to clean that out with a wire tie or something. And that's basically all there is to these things. You make sure they come up to pressure, and then you start your timer for half an hour or 90 minutes, or depending on what you're doing. And that's it. There's not a lot to it. I hope you found this helpful, and I don't think I have anything more to say. Ask questions, and I'm always happy to help. Send me a message. Whatever I can do to help, I'm happy to help everybody out in the community. Thank you. Bye-bye.